Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's do a complete beginner's guide to Diablo 4, shall we? And we're going to do this guide starting right here at the beginning of Season 2, the Season of Blood, because at this point there have been some changes to the original game, and there's a lot of new people coming back into the game to see what the seasonal powers are like, and see what some of the new quality of life features and balancing has done since the game launched. So I thought it would be a great time to just kind of do a complete beginner's guide for Diablo 4 in this way. We're going to start a brand new character on the seasonal realm, and we're going to explore everything about the UI, the controls, how to play the game. And we're going to do so in a way that is non-spoilery. It's not about min-maxing and showing you the fastest, best, exact abilities to choose, but rather arming you with the fundamentals and the basics so that you can play the game at your own pace, how you want to, and understand all of the systems and the controls to make the game manageable for you. Now, additionally, I'm going to make this guide in such a way that if you've never played any Diablo games before, you'll be able to play. If you haven't played Diablo 4, you'll be able to play. So it's going to be aimed at people who either have no experience with ARPGs and Diablo, but also people who maybe they played Diablo 2 or 3 and are just getting into 4 and want to see what it's all about, or even people who've been playing 4 but want to make sure that they have all of the knowledge that they need to make good decisions with their character. So, what character are we going to be? Well, I thought what would be fun is for us to be a Druid in this guide. And the reason is, Druid is one of the classes that I haven't played yet. And so what this will allow me to do is learn the character along with you, and I'm going to describe my entire thought process that goes into the Druid. I've played the other classes, many of them before, and I've done a lot of content in this game, and I'm the kind of person that I just love starting new characters and restarting, and so I've done Act 1 and the content in Act 1 a bunch. You can watch my Let's Play on the game where I booted up for the first time, where I stream the game and I learn about the game. And in this, what we're going to do is, I'm also new to Season 2, so I'm going to be learning the Season 2 mechanics with you in this guide. We could kind of learn together as we understand what's changed, what might be coming in the future, and how to play and enjoy this game as it continues to evolve. So I'm going to go ahead and select this Druid now. Now, once you select a character, you get to customize your character, so you can choose your body type, and I will be the right body type, and I'm going to customize it to look like our player channel, but this is a good start. Oh my goodness, what a stern face. Actually, this face is perhaps more appropriate, but what you can do once you're on this screen, these are like some presets, but you can push square to go into this and really fine-tune your character to your liking. So I'm going to change my skin tone to be as, pale as possible. The eye color will be dark blue, and we're going to then say, all right, face variations. Is there a face that we like the best? This one is actually fine. Then you'll notice at the top center ribbon, you can cycle between hair and accessories. We need to change this hairstyle immediately. Oh, nice. Let's see what we can get here with a reasonable hairstyle for a Druid. That is ridiculous looking. I like it. And then facial hair. Yeah, we could be trimmed up. That's pretty good. Then hair color. We're going to try to make it, as always, look like the channel avatar. So we're going to be this kind of like honey blonde. Now, we could also get wild and just be blue. But it doesn't look like as blue as I would like. So I'm going to go ahead and do this blonde right here. That's fine. And, my eyes are a little too dark. I'm going to go with medium. Okay, great. We got the hairstyle. We got the facial hair. Accessories, okay. I'm going to take this makeup off and we're going to kind of be minimal with our jewelry as well. And with markings, you can be like, I don't want any markings. That's what this circle with the X is. Or you could put some tattoos on yourself if you want to be like full tats. You know, you've got all sorts of different choices here that you could use, you know, like I got these sweet tats all over me, and we could make these tats, you know, blue, which is actually good for our channel. But let's see if there's any other tats that feel even cooler for this character. Just random writing. Yeah, I like this. I just write all over myself. That looks great. And then we'll finalize. And you have unlocked the ability to skip the campaign on any of your characters. Now, I'm not going to skip the campaign because I'm going to do this like you're just playing the game for the first time. So once we get here, we're going to be seasonal. We're going to start our character in Season 2, the Season of Blood. I'm not going to be a hardcore character. A hardcore character means if we die, the character is dead. And, you know, you lose everything. That's not how I'm going to play, and I don't recommend that for your first time. Unless you don't mind losing everything. I'm not going to skip the campaign either. I'm going to use the campaign because this is how I anticipate most new players will go in. And it gives you... The story in this game is actually really great. The cinematics are great, so I think it's worthwhile. But that's your choice. Now I'm going to put a name in for the character. So it didn't like that space in my name. I put it now to Incomptutor, but it's kind of like Incomptutor. Like it's a bad computer, and I like that very much as well. Let's go. So we're going to do, at this point, you can choose Eternal Realm, which is just like the default gameplay experience, and that's fine, but I want to do the Seasonal Realm to see what's new, and you get all these special like vampiric powers. Now, depending on when you're playing the game, your season might be different, and I always recommend doing the seasonal content because once the season ends, your character will be sent to the Eternal Realm anyway, but you get to try all the cool new stuff if you want. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to go ahead. Now, I like World Tier 2 because monsters give you more experience and more gold, but if you're brand new to Diablo, go ahead and do World Tier 1. Now, if you have cleared the game, and on this account, I have not cleared the game, you can try higher world tiers, but that doesn't really apply to us because we're brand new players. So you have a choice of World Tier 1 or World Tier 2, and I'm just going to go ahead with World Tier 2 because I like that it's slightly harder, but it gives you more items, more gold, and more experience, and I don't find it to be like that much more difficult. You might just need to spend a little bit more time leveling up your character and grinding up to make this feasible, and that's what I'm going to go with. But no shame going either way.
Sanctuary was never meant for humankind. It was forged as a refuge from the war between the high heavens and the burning hells. Instead, it became a new battleground in this eternal conflict. A secretive group called the Haradrim has kept mortals safe. But now this once powerful order is a husk of what it was. And Sanctuary's ancient creators have returned to claim the hearts of humankind. This is the story of their downfall.
My character is enormous. I feel bad for the horse that has to carry me. Oh, there goes. The horse is like, I've had it with you, dude. I mean, it didn't even make a sound when it was murdered. It just whinnied and ran away, and then insta-slaughter. Oh, gosh, the torch. That's... You hate to see that. A little chilly here. Stay alert, dude. All right. So now, we're in the game. A little bit of a brief kind of cinematic, and we're in this cave, and we're going to freeze to death. And before I get moving, let's talk about what we see on the screen. So, in the bottom left, you will see the iconic red Diablo health sphere. That is a representation of how many hit points we have. If that goes down to 0, we are dead. To the lower right of that, I have a resource sphere, which is that kind of like green cloudy sphere that I use for my abilities. Above the health orb sphere is, it says 5 out of 5, and it's mapped to L1. By the way, I'm playing on PlayStation 5, but of course you can play this on PC as well. Your key bindings will be different. And you push that to drink a health potion, and you have 5 of them, and it will restore your health. You can push circle to do this, like, kind of move, which, for my character, it's like an evade, and my druid just kind of dashes in the direction that I'm facing when I push that, and it goes on cooldown, and you see how, you know, it's a 5-second cooldown before I can use it again. X, to the right of my resource orb are my abilities that are mapped to different buttons on the face pad and on the triggers and bumpers as well. And all I have right now is just a basic attack. In the upper right, you're going to see a mini-map. It's going to tell you what zone you're in, what level it's appropriate for, the time of day. And then below that are your quests, and it tells you what world tier you're on and what quest you're doing. And the quest objective is that kind of like yellow diamond with the exclamation point. And that's telling us where to navigate to on the map. And also, it's telling me that if I push the start button, I can look at my character panel. That's the first thing that this goes to, so it shows you what I'm equipped with. I've got like this club, and I'm using the directional pad just to move around the inventory here. These spaces where it says equipment, these 3 rows here, this is my inventory of what I'm carrying, and then up here by my character is my paper doll. These are my equipment pieces. Like, I'm holding this club in my main hand. You can see when I select this, a tooltip pops out, and it gives you all sorts of good information about this item. And this is a club. It does 18 damage per second, and we're going to talk in more detail about how to understand what your equipment's doing. And that's just telling you basically a rough estimation of like how much damage are we doing with this weapon, and you can use that to compare weapons. The item power, where it says mace 13 item power, that's the game's kind of like reflection of how powerful this is compared to other items. And it doesn't necessarily mean that one item with better item power is always better than another item that has less item power, but it's a good gauge. Then you see I have these boots that are, giving me 6 armor, for example. In the bottom right, it tells you how much I can sell it for. It tells you what the durability is of this. And currently everything is at full durability because I haven't really done anything. But as you fight, and especially as you die, you will, your stuff will get damaged and you'll have to repair it in town. You can hold square to unequip this. You can push square to mark it as a favorite so you won't sell it or drop it or anything. And you can do the same thing looking around all of your other items. Now, if you push the left stick in, it opens up this really nice stats and materials screen where you can see in more detail your level, your character's stats, and then you can select a stat like strength, for example, to see what strength is doing for your character. This becomes more important as we get augments that will boost our character, and we want to know, okay, we're a druid. What should we pay attention to? Like, what should we be looking at? Strength, intelligence, willpower, or dexterity? And that depends on our playstyle and our character build and our class. Here's our resistances, which these have been reworked in Season 2 and are now supposed to be working appropriately. Before, resistances weren't really working, and from what I understand now, they do. Here's our overall offensive output and defensive abilities, and you can keep looking through these stats to see where we're at with our character, our level, our abilities, and our equipment. And then you can push R2 on this tab to see what items that you're carrying that do not go in your equipment panel at large. So, for example, plants that you gather out in the environment, like gallow vine, will go into your plant bag, and you can like push X on this to collapse or expand it. And ore that you gather goes here, skins, monster parts, salvage from equipment, and even gems now finally have their own tab and don't take up inventory space, thank goodness. So what this means is Diablo 4 is a very much like open world game compared to the previous Diablos. So you have gathering and crafting that is more akin to like an MMO or an open world game, like gathering, for example, herbs to make potions and stuff. And that's where these go. So they don't go into your equipment proper. And I'm going to push the left stick to just close that so you don't have to look at that anymore. Now, if you push R1, you go to the abilities screen. And when you start, this character starts with 3 abilities. Before I go anywhere, I'm going to spend my ability points so that my character is able to have a chance at making it in this world. Now, I'm pretty sure that you will start with 3 ability points. But then again, I don't know if these ability points are coming to me because I have been rewarded renown in this region. Let me actually quickly check that. So I'm pushing the center button on the PlayStation controller to open up the large map. And this is what I love about this game, is that you have a giant map that you can use to navigate yourself. So I can zoom in on this map by using the right stick, and if I push the right stick up or down, I zoom in and out. And then I can use the left stick to kind of move my cursor. And this right here is where they want us to go for the quest, Dusk on the Mountain. They want us to go right here. And if I push square to pin the location, you notice how on the map, this like dark line gets inked in. This is one of the most valuable skills that you can know for navigating in Diablo 4. Anywhere you want to go, you can pin a location, and then the game will auto-generate the quickest path for you to get there so that you don't get lost. And you can see this path that you should be following on the minimap. So it makes getting around super easy for somebody like me who gets turned around quite easily. Yes, I believe... Let's see here. Now, beyond that, you'll see in the upper center ribbon of this screen, there are different panels. You default to the map, which is where we're going right now, and you can use L1 to go over to your seasonal rewards, and this is like, hey, you want to buy the battle pass. I'm just going to be doing free to play, so I'm continuing. I mean, I purchased the game, so it's not necessarily free to play. But I mean, like, I'm not using a battle pass. All rewards from last season were auto-accepted. So when you do the battle pass, even if you're a free person like me, you still get rewards. You just don't get the same rewards that somebody does who is paying. So there are milestones and objectives for this season, for example, and as we do these, like you'll see right here, I'm just pushed X where it says Season Journey Chapter 1 under the Season of Blood. It's going to end January 23rd, 2024, so we have quite a while to progress this seasonal character. And if I click X on this, it takes me to this screen where it tells me for Chapter 1, here's the rewards that I can earn, and here are the quests that I need to complete. So, like, for example, the first one just says, collect 10 redamine that's found in the dry steppes. And if I do that, I get some progress on the seasonal rewards. I'm going to push R1 to go back to the map. Now, when you're on this screen, you can push triangle to open up the region progress. And yes, indeed, I have 3 skill points, and you will probably only have 1 if you're starting out. But maybe they don't come in unless I claim the rewards. I'm not sure how this exactly works. But one of the things that's cool about Diablo is you earn renown in an area by doing quests, by doing discovering waypoints, strongholds, side quests. All of these things in the bottom portion of this region progress screen are going to give us renown, which, as we move up in renown, we get these rewards that run along the center of the screen. And we can only get the rewards 1, 2, and 3 on our current world tier, and these all help us out a bunch. So I have extra potion capacity and skill point because on a previous character, I had a Season 1 character, I had some Eternal Realms character. On those previous characters, I had earned these rewards, and what's great is, if you earn renown and you start a new character, you get these rewards of the region progress on your new character, so you kind of get a leg up. It's like account progress overall. So I'm going to claim these rewards, for example, and just get like a bonus of some 60 gold or whatever. And now I'm going to go back to my character and go to abilities. I'm only going to spend 1 ability point then, because that's what you'll get. I'll save my other ability points for later. But when you're on your ability here, what you start out, and I'm going to move, you'll see, I'm just going to push the right stick in to zoom in on the ability tree. This thing is a giant skill tree where you have all sorts of different abilities that you can power up, and it requires that you earn skill points and build up to move along on the path. So, for example, you know, I start here and can pick a basic skill, but if I want to go to this next portion of the tree, I have to spend points here to move my line up. So let's pick a basic skill for this druid. Basic skills are deal damage and are always available to cast. These are like your bread and butter abilities. And we can choose between Earth Spike, Wind Shear, Storm Strike, Claw, and Maul. So if we choose Maul, for example, this says shapeshift into a werebear and maul enemies in front of you. This says shapeshift into a werewolf and claw an enemy in front of us. This Storm Strike says electricity gathers around your weapon and you deal damage to your target and chains up to 3 targets around you. And then this says you make a blade of wind and hit them with that. And then this sunders the earth and impales an enemy for damage. So of these, it's important to look at the skill, and you see that when I use any of these abilities, they actually generate spirit. So these are free for us to use, and they will generate spirit, which is the druid's resource that we want to spend on more expensive skills. So Diablo 4 works kind of like this, where it's like you do abilities that are basic to generate your resource, and then you spend those resources on more expensive skills that do way more damage. So you kind of like are doing some small stuff, and then that will allow you to open up your big attacks. So you get to choose whichever one you want, and there's no wrong choice here. And the great thing is, if I choose, like let's just say, for example, I choose Maul because I want to turn into a bear. If I choose that and I hate it, you can just push square to refund and get your skill points back and invest them into something else. And it costs gold, but very little gold. So experiment as you will. Let's go ahead and do Storm Strike. Let's try this out. So I'm just going to push X to learn this ability. And once we do this, it's going to automatically assign this skill to the action bar. Now I'm going to push... nope, I'm just going to go ahead and push circle to get out of this. And you'll see that the weapon skill that I was using by just pushing X before is now Storm Strike. And you see how when I swing my mace, there's like electricity happening. And I don't have to just tap X, I could just hold it down to attack like this. I'm moving with the left stick, I'm dashing with circle, and now all I can do basically is that. Now look in the upper right at the minimap, you see how the line has filled in for this character, and it tells me exactly where I need to go. Now I don't need to go that way, I can go over here and explore and try to find some treasures. And indeed, we found that. We found some enemies. So these wargs come up and they want to fight, but we just blasted them with our mace. If something is interactable, there will be an outline around it that is white, and the game will tell you, hey, just push X to interact with it, and we can try to find stuff. Now, sometimes the outline is red, meaning like you need to attack this, and we just smash it, and we break it open to see if there's any treasure in there. That is a deer, which we could hunt for some skin if we wanted, but is not threatening. So there are like animals in this game that are just doing their thing and are not dangerous. This lost pack, I'm going to open it up, and these containers, I'm going to break it open, and we got some gold. You don't need to push anything to pick up gold, you just need to walk over top of it, and you will pick up the gold. So a lot of what you do in this game is you just walk around, breaking containers and such, looking for items, loot, and you'll notice that the path to the objective has dynamically updated to reflect my new position, and it's like Navigator on your phone. It's super useful. Now, another thing I want to tell you is, at the bottom left of the screen, above our abilities, you'll see that there's a number 1, that's my level, and then there's an orange bar that's like starting to fill up. That's our experience. When that baby gets all the way filled up, we will be level 2, and we will get a new ability point to spend. I'm not going to hurt that deer. I'm going to fight this warg, though. So when there's an enemy, notice how there's a red arrow pointing to the enemy that you kind of have selected, and then there's a health bar above the enemy. Now you can turn the health bars on and off. I love to see it, to know how much damage I'm doing. And all you have to do is press X, in this case, to attack this enemy. They are hitting us. You can see we have a little bit less health than we started with, but they're not hitting us for much. And we're getting some good experience, and I'm just going to keep interacting with stuff and just blasting them with my electric mace. And there's either our horse or... No, it's this guy's horse. And we're just looking here. Okay. And I could keep breaking stuff and searching for treasure, but at this point in the game, there's not really a lot of great stuff. Now, I will tell you, every once in a while, you'll notice I'm gaining an ability. And it says that over my experience bar. It says, gained Storm Strike. Now, when I swing right here, I don't get it. But if I hit something, I get it. And you'll see that there's a little green box that goes above my health bar that has a countdown on it, which is a buff that I gain. And as that kind of clockwise swipe runs out, that's telling me how much time I have that ability for. It's not for a long time.
Everywhere. Fangs in the dark.
Fangs in the dark. Oh.
Careful. He's a wild one.
Okay. Somebody bit him. We heard some noise. We need to go into the town. We need to open the door. That buff that we're getting, let me just show you on my abilities. If I mouse over Storm Strike, it tells me that I gain 15% damage reduction for 3 seconds after dealing damage. So that's the buff I'm getting. It's just, it protects me from damage for 3 seconds. So every time I hit with this, it will refresh that buff, and I will be taking less damage. Let's talk to these folk. How's it going in here? What's going on?
What's it to you?
Hush. I'm sorry, Wanderer. You've come at a difficult time. This madman just stumbled into town and started causing trouble.
Oh.
Demons spilling from the ruins. Kill us all. Kill us all.
Ruins? What is he talking about?
Yeah, what you talking about?
Come, I'll explain.
Oh, okay, great. She's going to explain. So, this is Diablo. Check out the music. This is very much Diablo 1 throwback Tristram music. And in this game, you're going to get demons, blood, just absolutely macabre environment. And let's check this out. All of these people in this tavern that have the dialogue bubble over their head, you could talk to if you want. It's optional. This person right here, Isbel, that has weapons underneath their name, is a merchant. So if I interact with them, I can buy hammers from them. So you'll see how in the top center of the screen it says purchase, and there on the left panel is her portrait. She's a vendor. She's going to get new stock in 46 minutes, and she's got 2 different hammers that we can purchase. Don't buy any of her stuff. We're going to find better stuff soon. But if I want to sell anything, I can push R1 to go to my inventory and sell it to her. But I don't really have anything to sell. So I'm just going to push circle to close all this up. These other people, if you talk to them, like for example, Alenta,
What's that? You say something?
they will talk to you. And it's, again, it's just extra story if you want it. This game is amazing. The production is so high. Just about everything is voice acted, so it's really cool to get into the spirit if you're playing for the first time, to just talk to everyone, to get the feel of what's going on here. But when you're ready to progress with the quest, you just talk to Vani, who has the quest symbol above her head, and you can see in the upper right, it's telling me, speak with Vani. That's what I need to do for the quest. By the way, if I push the center button, again, to open up the map, and I push left on the directional pad, it opens up my journal, and I can select from different quests here and read more information about them. Right now I only have 1 quest, but this is where you can find all of your quests if you're looking for some more info about them. I'm going to talk to Vani, and the top option with the quest icon by it, the yellow quest icon, is telling me this is what you want to say if you want to progress with the quest. These other dialogue options, again, these are, you don't have to do these, but this will just give you more story and lore if you want it. For the purposes of brevity, I'm just going to kind of jump into the main story. But when you're playing, what I did my first time is I actually did every dialogue option so I could really get a lot of story.
Could you protect us from whatever is out there? We have nowhere else to turn.
Oh yeah, I'll do my best. I can certainly protect you.
Stirring in those ruins is an affront against nature. I will make things right.
Yeah, we'll make things right.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, listen, you're so welcome. Boom, and we leveled up by coming in here. So now we get another skill point, and you can see it says quest complete. We got 800 experience, we got 80 gold for doing that. And if I push start and go R1 to abilities, and then push... no, I'm just going to push the right stick in. The left stick, when you push this in on the ability screen, you see how in the bottom center it says skill assignment left stick. If I push this in, it lets you change the button loadouts of your different abilities. Right now we only have 1, so it's not a big deal. But you're going to soon get a lot more, and you can just switch these around to your liking. And sometimes you'll get more abilities than you have buttons for, and you can only use the amount of abilities that you have buttons available for, so you can select which ones you turn on and off once you get more abilities by pushing left stick in on this screen. Now, for me, I just got a new ability. I could choose another basic ability if I wanted, but what's better is you'll notice how like the skill tree, mainly it's going over to the left to this next area, which is what I want. But you'll know how, you see how when I picked Storm Strike, it also opened up these smaller ability icons by Storm Strike. These are abilities that are specific to Storm Strike, and you have to have the base skill Storm Strike to unlock them, and they enhance Storm Strike. So this just says it has a 15% chance to immobilize all enemies hit for 2.5 seconds. So this is great. Like, I can freeze enemies in place, and it makes my Storm Strike stronger. I could learn another basic ability if I wanted, but these abilities, these basic abilities, are called by people generators, and usually you don't need more than one basic generator, and you want to focus on one. Now, if I want to focus, I could either learn this, or I could level up Storm Strike itself by putting another point in. You see how Storm Strike says 1 out of 5? It means I put 1 point in here, but I could put another point in, and if I do that, you'll notice that my damage goes up from 20%, which is 6 to 7, as it says in the top dialogue, to the bottom where it says next rank, damage goes up to 6 to 8, 22%. In general, this is such a marginal increase that you almost never want to do this until you have purchased the subsidiary abilities first, because these have a greater impact. This is a huge diminishing return. Like later in the game when you have 1,000,000 skill points and you want to just like really go into something and you're min-maxing, this is worth it. But right now, it's better for us to take Enhanced Storm Strike, so I will. And now you'll notice that I have unlocked my core skill because I have spent the requisite skill points to get here. Now again, I do have 2 points, but this is from Renown, so I'm not spending those points because I'm trying to play just like you would if you were a new player. Those are from my previous characters, which have granted rewards to any new character that I make. So now, whenever we hit things with our Storm Strike, we have a 15% chance to immobilize them, which is great so that they don't run away and we can hit them with our electric mace even more often. So I'm going to push circle to close this and push circle again, and you can see if I push the center button and I'm going to move with the left stick, they want us to go up here to Darkness Within. This is where the objective is, and I'm just going to push square to kind of like pin that and give myself the navigator to go here. All right, let's go get him. Come on, Druid. So I'm just going to follow the path, as you see in the upper right, and head towards the baddies. There's a bear. Now that guy is hitting me hard. It doesn't matter. We immobilized him. Ooh, we got our first kind of like piece of loot. So I'm going to go into my inventory. I picked up this lumber axe. You see this thing gives me 36 damage per second. Now, but it would take 2 hands. So when I select it, you see how both of my hand slots would be used. I'm using a club in one hand and this totem in the other hand. And they give me 36 damage per second, 18 on each side, which is exactly what this gives me. But if you want to know more specifically, when you select an item in your inventory, I'm going to push triangle to compare it. Now it's going to tell me, okay, I'm equipped with the club. You see how it says equipped? It has the tooltip drop down. Then to the right of it comes the lumber axe, which is I'm not equipped. It's in my inventory. And it tells me everything that happens when I equip this. Everything that's better will be in green. Everything that is reduced will be in red. So the damage is actually the same. And I lose a few properties. So I'm going to keep what I have. It's not a magical item. It's just regular. We'll talk about magical items when we get one, but we don't have anything yet. We're not getting great treasure. We're just starting out. Oh my god, there's skeletons coming from the ground. Now, another thing I want to tell you is we just picked up some gloves. You notice how I'm down on health. I'm going to push L1 and drink a potion. You see how my character got health back? The reason I'm doing that is because even though I only have 4 out of 5 potions, by the way, if you're just starting, you will have 4 potions, not 5. I have 1 extra from doing Renown. That's one of the great things about doing Renown, is that you get more potions. Bam. Now, you see that? I just picked up a potion. It was dropped on the ground from that enemy, and then it refills my potion uses. So you want to actually use your potion so that you can get a refill if you have any damage taken. I'm going to break all this stuff. There's no treasure here. And now we need to go right here into the tower gate, and I'm going to go in. And this is the Ice Howl Ruins. I'm going to push X to interact. Okay. So now we get into a new map. If I push the center pad, look, I'm in a completely new map, which is not the world map. And if I want to change to the world map, I need to push up on the directional pad to go back outside. That's where I am on the world map. I'm inside this dungeon. But then if I push down, you'll see this is my local map of the area that I'm in. I'm going to push X to open this door, and we're going to start breaking stuff. And I'm going to open this door nicely. Break these crates. What's going on in here? I need to search the depths, so we need to find a way down. So I'm just kind of looking around here. And here's some baddies. Oh my gosh. Look what I see, a treasure chest. I'm going to pick up these boots. I'm going to open the chest. And 2 potions came out. I picked up one. And I can't pick up the other because I'm full. So I'm just going to push left L1 and then heal myself to full and then pick up the potion. You're going to do that a lot. Keep your potions topped off, but if you ever get hurt, make sure to use one so you can actually pick up the health potion and restore your health. Now I'm going to push start to go to my inventory. We got hide gloves and we got hide boots. We don't have any gloves. You see how when you select the item on your paper doll, which is in the upper right by the picture of our character, there are different slots: head, chest, hands, pants, feet, left and right hands, necklace, and 2 rings. And when you select it, it kind of highlights the corners around the slot that this will go into, and I can hide my comparison. I can compare it, but there is nothing to compare it to. So if I just equip these, boom, I now just got 6 more armor. Now, you'll notice that the graphics change based on the equipment. So now my hands, which were bare, are equipped. You have some quick stats that you can see to the left of your equipment underneath the red profile button where it says attack power, armor, and life, and then it tells you just your basic attributes where they're at. But remember, if you want more, you just push that left stick in to kind of get a further breakdown of what's going on with your character, like how this attack power is arrived at, what you're doing to damage things, where your defense is, if you have any move speed buffs or anything like that. That's where you can find further information. I'm just going to push circle to close everything, and I'm going to open up this door. What's going on? Oh my gosh, skeleton archers. They're everywhere. Boom. Level 3. You're going to level up very rapidly at the beginning of the game. It's a ton of fun. And what happens now is that we get a core skill. I'm going to go back here and look at my skills. It's worth noting, the game does not pause. This is an online game. It does not pause when you're in the menu. So you kind of want to move to an area where you're safe before you do this. I'm going to go push R1, and then I'm going to push the right stick in to get the full view of the ability tree. And now, because we've spent 2 points on our basic skill, we have moved down the tree to a core skill. And we can pick a core skill that we like. Any of these things that are pulsing, we could choose. We could do Predatory Instinct, which is like a passive ability. So these circular abilities are passive things. We could get Landslide, which is a core nature magic earth-based skill. The big squares underneath the ability name describe like what this is. We could get Lightning Storm, which is a core nature magic storm ability that is channeled. Now, this would conjure a growing lightning storm that deals 12 to 15 damage per strike, and a number of strikes increases the longer the storm is channeled, up to a maximum of 5 at once. And each one of these lightning storms would cost us 15 spirit. So we're building up spirit with our basic, and then we can spend it on something like lightning storm if we want. Or we could do a tornado, which conjures a swirling tornado. We could, turn into a bear. We could turn into a werewolf. Or we could make a landslide happen. I like this idea of lightning storm. Again, I've never played Druid. I don't know what this does, so what I'm doing is just experimenting. I'm going to see if I like it. So much of Diablo is about seeing if you actually like using the abilities and they're fun for you. Sometimes you can, you can min-max and just get caught up in what does the most damage. But what I like to do is just see which I enjoy using, which looks cool, which feels cool. So I'm going to try this out. So I push X on Lightning Storm, and it says in the upper right, the skill has been assigned. Remember, I pushed the left stick in, and I see that down at the bottom, they've put this on my square button. So I'm going to close all of this up, and I'm going to just push square to see what happens. Oh, okay, so I just hit that with electricity. And you'll notice how in the bottom right, that green swirly bar, that's my spirit, my resource orb, that thing has been reduced. And if let's find some enemies. I'm going to hold square and channel this. Channel just means hold the button down. Come on, bad guys, where you at? So you'll notice how I just held it down and blast, blast, blast. Those guys got obliterated, but look at my spirit. So I can't do that all the time. I'm going to need to hit some stuff with X. There we go. And now I've built up my spirit, and now I can do that as much as I want. Now this barrel, this is an exploding barrel. If I hit it, you'll see that there is a red circle around it. That's the area of influence of the explosion, and it gives you a warning, like, get out of here. It'll hit you and the enemies. So just get out of it. You can push circle to like dash out of it to get out of it as well. All right, we're going to keep looking. Skeleton Captain. All right, I used my ability there to blast him because why not? It's awesome. I love making... Don't ask how lightning comes inside when we're in this dungeon. Just accept it. I'm just looking around. The red arrow, by the way, is telling you like which enemy you're currently targeting so that you can know like where your spender is going. So it's like generator and spender. So you generate with basic, you spend with your core skills or your bigger skills. Now notice on the map, if I check this out, if I push the center button and go to the map, there's a healing well, this like heart icon. This is a fountain that you can use to heal yourself. And it's blood, of course. Open the chest, see if we get anything good. We got a hide tunic. And, I can just heal myself, or I can even use this to heal myself. I'm going to push start to go to my inventory, and this hide tunic, it has the same name as my hide tunic, but notice in the comparison screen, it's the number green on the non-equipped hide tunic. This is 39 more armor than my current armor, so I'm going to equip it. It looks the same, but it's way better. These boots, however, are identical, so I don't need those. Usually when you see this fountain, that means like you're getting closer to the boss or the next area. And indeed, we have now gone down to the hell-touched corridors. And you could see on the environment, there's like gross, hell-touched walls everywhere. I'm going to fight these guys. We are getting into demonic realms. And let's just kind of look around over here. Uh-huh. So, our electricity, it can hit more than one target. So, like, the longer we channel it, you see how it makes 1, then 2, then 3? It's going to be more powerful the longer we channel it. However, generally, the consequence, of course, is when you're channeling, you're locked in place and you can't move. So, it's a defensive disadvantage, but it's doing so much damage that you try to make it work. So we're immobilizing targets, we're blasting them with our weapon, and you'll see how the map... Okay, just like the exploding barrel, that enemy, they are using a spell to do area of effect damage, and we need to kill them and not be in that damage when it's happening. So just move away, and our storm can go long range. Like, our mace is close range, but if you have somebody far away that's blasting you, we have our core lightning storm ability to kind of like get them even if they're far away from us. We've leveled up. I'm going to push start R1 to go to abilities, and now we have some choices. I could go here. The size of your storm is preserved for 6 seconds after channeling, Or I could go back here and I could say Storm Strike chains to targets, or Storm Strike has a 50% chance to make enemies vulnerable, and if they're vulnerable, it means they take 20% increased damage. So what do I want to boost up? Well, I'm going to boost up my Wild Storm Strike. I like the ability to chain to additional targets with my basic. I'm going to need to do my basic more right now, so I'm going to level this up. And now my basic is fully leveled up. I do actually, let me go back to that and zoom in. When you pick one of these forked abilities, you can only select one of these. So you can only either have Fierce Storm Strike or Wild Storm Strike, for example. I'm choosing this one just because I like a little bit of AoE splash on my basic ability. And now, after that, I will start boosting up my Lightning Storm. I chose this only because I'm using basic more often and saving this for situations where there's a lot of enemies on the screen that are damaging. So right now, I'm immediately going to use my Lightning because that was a shaman who can, who's annoying, uses magic, and is a bigger target. But at this point, you see how I have to use my basic to generate the resources to spend. In the upper right in my map, the fog of war is telling me, I don't know what's up here. I don't know what's over here. I have to move over there to actually uncover it. So a lot of this game is just kind of exploring and finding the next area that you need to go. The game isn't going to tell you, where this is. You have to explore to actually find the depths of the Icehowl ruins. So, again, there's a fountain. That's a very good indicator to me that I'm moving in the right direction. And now we've made it to the Chamber of Calling. And, oh my god, there's a ritual happening here. And there's a decapitated priest. So we can interact with this guy. He falls over. And get out of that. There's a big boy. So this is Zaval, the Scarred Baron. You can see in the top center of the screen, he has a health bar. And we're going to need to work through that, of course. But additionally, he has these different arrows on him, which are like the different phases for this boss. So once you get him past that area, he is now on a different phase and he will use different abilities. So right now, I'm just not really focusing too much on this guy. He's pretty easy, but he has different abilities. Like, he's going to come here. When he does this, he's summoning allies. Then when we see the circle on the ground, we know he's going to jump up and try to land and smash us. We just have to move away from that. I'm just going to blast him with as much electricity as I can get. Hit him with this. And I'm going to move away and use my potion. Now, you see how every once in a while my health globe is getting cracked? That means that I've become vulnerable and I take extra damage. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and blast all of his buddies and generate our resource. Get away while he does this. Bam, 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 bam. Use my lightning. And just fight this guy. I'm not too worried about moving away from anything that this guy is doing except for his jumping strike. In this phase, we just kill the enemies that he spawns. Get our resources filled. He's going to jump up. Just move away from this. Bam, bam, bam. He's down. Quest complete. We did it. So, in that guy's pretty easy. As long as you make sure to use your potions and pick up the potions that are on the battlefield, you'll be fine there. Look what we got. You see these items that have blue text? Those are magic items. So we got our first magical items. I'm going to push start to go to my inventory and check these out. So this Determined Great Axe is a one-handed axe. You know it's one-handed because you can see in the inventory it's only using my item in my left hand slot. It's not using my I guess that's my right hand, but it's left of the character portrait. Anyway, It's not using my relic. It's not displacing that. This one, though, if I were to use it, is two-handed. So I have a choice to use here. I got a new tunic, which looks different but is worse armor-wise. So I'm definitely going to equip this magical axe. Now, what does magical mean? It means that not only does it usually have better stats than just a base item of the same level, it has properties. This one is going to give us 10 willpower. So we're going to get plus 10 willpower. We're going to get more damage per second. So I'm going to equip this, and now we're using an axe. And it looks, of course, different than it did before, but that's okay. And we now need to return to Nevesk. Now, let me see here. If you push up on the directional pad, and you will normally have the option to leave the dungeon from this screen, but they have they don't want us to do that. They want us to climb this rope right now, and that's fine. So this right here, we just interact with this, and we'll climb right back out. And we did it. And that is the first dungeon of the game completed, and we can go do another quest. You see, we're very close to getting 5th level, and we're rocking and rolling. Everyone, I think this is a good first look at beginning Diablo 4. This is going to be a series. We're going to progress in the game, do more quests, talk about more content, because there's just so much to discuss that it can't be covered in one episode. We're going to level up this character more. We're going to explore the map more. We're going to do more quests. We're going to do side quests. We're going to earn renown. We're going to discuss all of these different systems, the collections, the clan tab, the shop. We're not really going to talk too much about that, but we will talk about the seasonal stuff, the renown, earning these rewards, and leveling up our character further by exploring the tree, learning new abilities. I hope you have found this to be useful and fun. If you have any questions about the game, please post those in the comments below. And if you are a Diablo 4 veteran and you want to help out some new people join the game, just remember that this series is created with brand new players in mind. So don't spoil the game, and don't give feedback that is so detailed that it is overwhelming for a new player. If you do it in that spirit, I appreciate it so much. Everyone, thank you for watching. Take care.